when she goes in to talk to Teddy in the first place, he's already talking to the guy on the phone about, hey, we just need a little bit of time in your junkyard. That's all I'm asking. You know, I don't know if you caught that during that conversation.
His look on his face, though, when he's watching it go down is the best. Is the fucking best. It's perfect. And it makes it work.
Right.
It looked like he owned a lot of fried chicken chains in the Southwest.
It's just an automatic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. I don't have to run late. It's just an automatic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. It's just an automatic Monday.
If you want to become a member, check out our website at deathcursesociety.com, then click on the membership tab. You can join for the price of a cup of coffee once a month. We need to thank, of course, our members. Sorry, Faye's got to cover you up here for a minute. But thanks to our final girls and guys, Chris, Lorena, BD, our newest member.
That's right.
Alex, thanks for joining the society, sir.
We owed him one from last week. He didn't make the list last week. We missed it. Our apologies, and you, sir, are celebrated. Welcome, 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 Alex. Thank you.
Welcome?
Welcome.
I threw a little curveball in there.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Shirley. Doctor. All right. But yes, thanks, Alex, for joining. And, of course, Tyrone, our Crazy Ralphs, thanks to them as well. Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the whole damn enchilada pod. And thanks to our camp counselors, Adam, Corey, Christy, Luke, another new one, Christy, right there. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce your last name.
Fascian?
Don't do it. Don't do it,
Dude, I'm still trying to pronounce names.
Fascian is what I see.
Have it. Fascian.
Christy Fascian.
Fascian.
We'll try A. If we're wrong, I'm sure we'll be corrected. Right, Lorena?
That's why I'm staying out of this.
It's forever.
Thank you, Christy. That's exactly the fuck why I'm staying out of this. Thank you, Christy. And thanks to Luke, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck. Chuck's new. What the? Chuck Schick?
Chuck Schick, dude.
Chuck Schick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really.
Explain later, okay?
I haven't seen that one. I don't think. Have I seen that one? I don't know. Anyway, and Patricia, Kristen, and JJ. I can't believe that took so long to get through. Thanks, guys. Colonel, I'll start with you. Anticipation and your adoration or thoughts about the previous films.
Okay, I'll start with the previous films first. We'll go back a few years. Believe it or not, St. Patrick's Day. I went and seen X in theaters. Super hyped for this film, even though it was A24. You guys know how I feel about the majority of A24 films. Not my favorite. Just going to say it. You really didn't know what I was expecting. And I was blown the fuck away. Absolutely loved it. Best slasher I've seen in years until Thanksgiving came out last year. And you can even argue that it being a slasher or not. You know, I can't even... I'm not going to make it too much of a fight about it. And then, you know, you get the bonus scene of teasing Pearl a year later, I think. Here comes Pearl.
No, only like
beautifully 6 months. Shot. Huh?
It was only like 6 months, yeah.
Well, it felt like a year because I wanted to see that motherfucker the next day. Beautifully shot, beautiful colors, beautifully acted. Totally different movie. Fucking love it. So, of course, MaXXXine is my #1 horror film this year. My box got smaller. I got to adjust. So I've been looking for this, you know, even at the end of Pearl. You get that little MaXXXine writing, get the 80s tunes, and it's finally here. Finally, I get to see Mia Goth back as the role as MaXXXine. Let's see what the kind of shit MaXXXine's getting into. I couldn't wait. Couldn't wait any longer. I was bursting with anticipation. That leads to another joke later on. So.
Oh boy. Starting off early, huh, Colonel? Have you been drinking tonight?
No. Purple drink.
The purple drink.
Oh, okay. Purple drink.
With zero sugar.
Ew. What about you, Ziggy? Anticipation, previous films. What do you think?
Yeah, man, this is like really the first one that was on the list of the ones we really looked forward to when we saw that master list last year. This was definitely the first one to come down, and I'm the same way. I didn't know what to expect with X, or Pearl for that matter, but once I saw what he did for 70s grimy, gritty porn, and then what he did for tributing that old style fucking filmmaking with that big scope and those everything, he went old school on it. I couldn't wait to see what he was going to do in the sleazy ass 80s in LA, man. Holy shit. So fuck yeah, Anticipation, a 10 all the way. And I'm a fan of the other two. I mean, I went back and looked at the scores and we scored them pretty good back, you know, on those first two. So, I was delighted. Just couldn't wait. Had ended up working Sundays, so I was like, fuck it. As soon as I'm done going home cleaning up, I'm fucking off to the movies. And yes, I couldn't be more excited to go to a movies in a long time.
Excellent. Yeah, this was definitely one of, if not the most anticipated movie for me this year. At least when we had a list of what was coming this year. You know, when we did that episode back in January. If this wasn't number one, I have no idea what could have topped like my expectations for this. But I have been a huge fan of Ty West for a little while now, since we've gotten into doing these reviews and things like that. I think House of the Devil is one of those underrated classics. The Innkeepers is fun. Shit, I can't think of the cult one right now, but the cult one is really good as well. And then when he hit us with X in 2022, I was like blown away for the most part, and in a good way. So, and Pearl was a great follow-up, but like I think both of you guys have said, and even a few people in the comments, X and Pearl, completely different films. And, you know, MaXXXine really is no different when we get to it. We're going to talk a little bit about the genre bending that Ty West is able to do in a lot of his films. And we're also going to talk a little bit later on about how good he is at setting a movie in a certain period. You know, House of the Devil is set in the 80s, I'm pretty sure. Innkeepers, I think, has got a little bit of past. Obviously, that cult movie has a little bit of a past to it. X, set in 79. Pearl, set in 1918. MaXXXine, 1985. But every time he does it, it works. So, I couldn't wait for MaXXXine. And, yeah. FaZe, you want to jump in on this comp? Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, I definitely saw it. Saw it on Saturday with my mom.
Oh, that's right.
I've seen with her in probably over a decade. Probably 15 years, actually. But yeah, anticipation was very high. This might have been the most anticipated horror film just in general for the horror community for this year. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, just like you guys, high anticipation. I try not to, you know, have too much anticipation going into a movie, because that almost sets you up for disappointment. But I don't know. I was excited for this one. It's an 80s flick. I love fucking movies that, you know, are at least set in the 80s. As far as the previous films go, I never watched them in the theater. I've always wanted to watch X in the theater, but just never caught it. I remember your guys' review on it. That's what made me want to watch it, and I caught it on streaming later. Loved it. Same with Pearl. Saw your review of it, watched it. I wouldn't say I loved it as much, but I still really liked it. It's still a really good movie.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to another topic then here. This one we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on, but what did you guys think of the marketing for this movie coming out? Like the teasers and the poster, and even the teaser at the end of Pearl, you know, that showed the Hollywood sign. You know,
sure.
Or the adapted Hollywood sign. It was a MaXXXine sign. But start with Ziggy on that.
Again, it took me exactly to that, like, oh fuck yes, I can't wait to get my face stuck into the ass crack of fucking 80s LA. I can't wait. And a safe view of it, safe, fuck yeah, dude, let's do this. This guy's displayed that he's got a vision and a way of telling the story and taking you into there. Like Crank said, if it's a period piece, every detail is covered. And so yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much got that, and then got just a taste in those little End of Pearl and the teasers we got. So
that first teaser where they expose the MaXXXine Hollywood sign and the use of the song Obsession, I thought was just cream of the crop for that little teaser that they did right at the End of Pearl. Which
I can't wait to get to that soundtrack part of this.
Yes,
dude.
That will be brought up.
I know,
and it's not actually as far down on the list as you would think it would be. But I wanted to break things up a little bit here. So, what about you, Cornel?
I appreciated the marketing at first, like I just mentioned earlier. At the End of Pearl, you get that little teaser. Loved it. I loved our teasers leading up. And the marketing was great. There's one part of marketing that I don't care for. I think it's just me being old. I'll admit it. All these influencers you see, like, hey, I just watched MaXXXine. They've been doing that real heavy leading up to its release, like a day or two before its release. And I've been seeing them a lot now, like actual ads. That shit annoys me, but I'm just old and cranky. I'll admit it. I know this is how you get the young generation in to see this movie. So I understand it, but that part, they lost me. It's just like, go to bed, Grandpa, and go to Denny's, get your early bird special, and take a nap.
Well, and they also had that one billboard that they put up that had the phone number that you could call.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't call it because...
I didn't either, actually. But I bet it's still active, whatever the number was. So let's get into it. Act 1. Hollywood. Let's...
What the fuck?
It's what, you don't like it?
It's
yeah.
It's better than nothing.
A bit heady for this show.
A little highbrow, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it goes to the character. Like, what would you do to get in Hollywood? So, I debated on doing it this way, but I went ahead with it. Act 1 starts, 1985. We're getting we get a throwback video from, I guess, what was it, 59, of a young MaXXXine dancing for her preacher televangelist father, and him talking about her going to be the star of the church one day. So,
and this is the same video that we see back in X.
No, we don't see this video in X.
No.
This is the same cat, though. The same.
Yes, her father, but he's talking about how the devil's taking your children away. Blah blah blah.
But I just said that it right away connected you to X with that. Right. I thought
right.
So
well, yeah,
just instantly,
okay.
Yeah.
But when we meet MaXXXine, she's going to an audition. She nails her, little monologue that she has to give, and then the casting director is like, "All right, now show us your tits," and she does, and she's not. But I love the way she walks out, and she's just like, "You all can go home because I fucking nailed that."
Yeah.
But I mean, that one of the first laughs in the movie for me is that, because
I love that.
It exposes, her confidence and her, do anything attitude to get the role. What were your thoughts on the beginning of Act 1 there, Colonel?
I mean, it set up the story perfectly. It really did. We get a quick glance at what MaXXXine's been up to. Mia Goth fucking nailed it, like she always does. I mean, I was impressed with her monologue. Just watching her, she's such a great I hate saying actress because people don't like it this day, but anyway, fuck it. Such a great actress. Like, I can watch her. She just takes up the whole screen, man. She's all you pay attention to. And you get a little chuckle about, show us her tits. I've seen them before, but I was a little disappointed I didn't get to see them. I was like, she's paid her dues. She don't do it anymore. That's fine. I can watch Infinity Pool, or hell, I can rewatch X again. But you're right. Her coming out being all cocky, I fucking nailed it, and that little Southern accent she has, just it's great, man. It sums up the MaXXXine character perfectly, especially that nice little Mercedes she's got.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I don't want to go any further because that's where you stopped. I'll stop there.
Well, I was just wanted to talk about the audition first, because it was just I thought it was a great way to open the film. Like you said, it establishes the character like immediately, in that 4-minute segment or whatever, and it's just so funny. Like I said, I think she's a charming character, and Mia Goth as an actress, just I honestly could not see anybody else in this part.
No.
And
no.
I hope to God in 50 years, I mean, I probably won't be around by then, but I hope they never remake this or this series. I hope they never do, or turn it into a streaming series or something. But
it's just funny.
Ziggy, Act 1, the audition part especially.
Yeah, I was, again, I locked in as well on the whole monologue she did with the crying. Was intense and powerful. And so, and then of course everyone laughs. Okay, show us your tits. And she doesn't hesitate. Okay, she starts unzipping it. And again, Ty West, been there, done that. We don't need to go there again. We're going to catch her right after.
It would have been nice.
Of course, it would have been nice. I mean, come on. Who's going to say no to that? But, and then when she gets out, and she can't help herself. She's got to tell these other girls, y'all might as well go home. And just fired up. But it's slowly fading in, one of the first tracks that nails the scene together perfectly. ZZ Top's Give Me All Your Lovin'.
Yes.
Fucking beautiful, man. And it just, I was grinning ear to ear watching the beginning of that whole thing when they first started doing showing you fucking 80s LA just like I wanted, during this kind of monologue and during the song, and her whipping around driving like a fucking maniac.
Yeah, that was funny as shit too.
Yeah.
And I like the visual throwback that he did with this opening, where he's got the big studio garage or the studio doors opening, kind of similar to the way the barn doors opened in Pearl to open that. And I even think there was something with X that started that way a little bit, but I can't remember what it is right this second. But yeah, there wasn't anything about that opening that I didn't like. Even though they could have started with her just sitting down in the chair, I love that long walk that she does all the way from the back, and you can see the attitude even then. Like, you can feel her saying, I'm the last person you need to see, walking into that room. And I thought it was great. More that happens during Act 1. We of course meet some of her friends. I've been seeing a couple of people comment about Leon, her buddy that works in the video store, and then one of her dancing. She's still doing porn, by the way, folks. If you didn't know, but she is. The audition is for a more studio horror film. So, but she talks to her friend Amber and then another one, Tabby, I want to say. But they're talking a little bit about the Night Stalker and his activities during this area, or during this time period. And, it felt like, did it feel like it? I can't ask that yet. But I would say Act 1 ends right before she gets the videotape dropped off to her. So you see her in the peep show doing her thing. You see the gloved guy watching her and breaking part of the peep show booth off. Go ahead and talk about some more of that.
I loved the Giallo fucking connection there with their leather gloves, dude. That was just dripping. It was so cool, man. Just a nice touch. Just a nice little quiet tribute passing by. But there it was, man. That's That's Argento. That's fucking Pava.
He did say a while back that there would be some major Giallo influences in this, and I think there were.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. A couple of things.
Yeah. Anything else to add on the rest of Act 1, Ziggy, before I move on to Colonel?
Yeah, while she was cruising around there, that's part of the montage is lots of cut-ins of the Night Stalker reports on the news, different newscasts. Just letting you know where we're at and this shit is happening, you know, alive and well. So
none of this is anything that you couldn't have figured out really out of the trailer, though.
Right. But I mean, they're just letting you know that okay, this is going to be happening. There's a reason we're talking about this, you know.
Right.
So.
How about you, Colonel? The rest of Act 1.
No, like I said, you explained it perfectly. Just introducing the other characters or friends, setting up the mood in the what's going on, setting up the story. The Giallo references were fucking fantastic. Now, refresh my memory on this. Would the alley scene take place? Is that still Act 1 or is that kicking off Act 2? I can't remember. I think it happened before the tape.
I think it's Act 1.
All right. This scene, like, so when we get some gore, I don't know how I was the only one in the audience that made an audible, ooh, like when it happened. I'm trying to be spoiler free, but just think about Mario stomping a fucking Goomba. All right.
Dude.
Like, I was like, God damn.
Does it have that? Does it have that sound effect?
Oh my God, dude! I mean, yeah, this is one of the epic things that happens in this movie, effects wise. Is what he's speaking of, and we're not going to say what it is, but I mean, everybody, the 12 of us that were in there, and this chick said something so funny, dude. I gotta say it. It's going to
give it away.
It'll give it away. I know what it is. It'll give it away.
It will give it away. Damn, it was the best.
It's too good. Maybe we can later towards the end.
I mean, it's...
Well, we are going to talk about our favorite gore and favorite kill later on, so we'll save it. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that there.
Because I even yelled out. I had an outburst, and I had to tell the theater to, take it easy because of what we just saw.
I think you guys put it really excellent. I mean, the ZZ Top was wonderful. Her whole introduction was wonderful. I mean, there's nothing more that could be said. Act 1 was beautiful.
The only other thing I will add about Act 1 that I really liked was the audition, where... Now, we all know Mia Goth is a fantastic actress. But do we know that MaXXXine is a great actress? I don't know if we do until we see that audition.
True.
And I think that audition was actually pretty fucking solid. And I love the fact that when they're like, the casting director or whoever says, that was great. She just, all right, yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
And shakes it off. Like, runs her hand through her hair a little bit and is just like, all right, I'm back to me. The way some actors are. But I love that point, because is she just a good lay on film? We don't know. So... But I think she is a good actress.
Because everybody else in that world seemed to know who she was. So.
Right. Love your work.
That was great. Every time. I mean, it just makes me go like, holy Christ. I mean, it made me wonder how some of these celebs think when we compliment them a little too hard. Are they thinking the same thing? Like, fucking creeps, weirdo, fucking freak. Get the fuck out of here.
These guys were 12 years old jerking off to me.
Oh, my God.
What the fuck, man?
We talked about MaXXXine's character introduction, but let's talk about some of the other ones. Leon seems to be a popular character from the video store. We have seen that scene in the trailer where he's listing off 5, major actors that got their start in horror, and she throws her name in there. So we've seen his introduction. I enjoyed it. I think he's a fun character.
Yeah.
And I love the line that he, gives as she's walking away. I'm not going to spoil it, but any thoughts on Leon as a character? Colonel?
No, I thought Leon was great. He wasn't like really comedic relief, but he made me feel comfortable. That's obviously why, like, MaXXXine was friends with him. He made her feel comfortable. He brought a sense of comfort to these scenes. A little bit of a simp, but that's okay. I mean, you got to go, man. I was rooting for him to get out of that zone. We'll see if he did or not. I'm not going to tell you. But no, his character was perfect. That's exactly what the movie needed. The other two you mentioned, her friend, her stripping friends, honestly, throwaway characters. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I mean. They were just there to set up the scene. He's there to bring a false sense of comfort and safety. And it fucking worked.
What about, well, we got to save that for later. Because we haven't really met any other characters.
Oh, I have a second favorite character in this film, but I'm sure we'll talk about that character here next.
Yeah, I think we all have a second favorite character. Giancarlo Esposito as Teddy Knight Esquire.
Teddy Knight.
Your fantastic agent is on the phone.
Yeah.
I thought that was
boy
hysterical.
Esposito.
Yeah.
He was good though.
FaZe, you want to chat about Giancarlo for a minute?
I mean, I don't know.
You're a fan.
I loved him in this like I love him in the other film. Underused as always.
I don't know if I would say he's underused in this film. Like,
he's probably just pricier, you know?
He is pricey. I guarantee you he's pricey. I that's just me though. I would like to see him more just about anything. So I don't know. Thumbs up though. Same with Kevin Bacon's character.
We'll get to him.
Which we're gonna get to there.
We'll definitely get to Kevin Bacon's character. Jesus Christ. Act 2, Deaths and Dicks. Private dicks, like detectives. That's what I mean. Not, dude, come on. The only thing I can say here without really, no, we might as well throw the spoiler alert up here because we are going to talk a little bit about Act 2's plot, and I don't want to. I think everything that we've talked about so far you could get from the trailer, or you kind of knew going in what was coming.
Right.
So, all right, now, the mysterious figure with the giallo black gloves leaves a VHS tape outside of MaXXXine's door, and it's police evidence footage that they found from Texas at the farmhouse where X takes place in '79. And she thought she had gotten away pretty much scot-free from that. So she's a little nervous to figure out, you know, who's got this footage, who's reaching out to her. Is it blackmail? Are they trying to throw her in jail? What the hell's going on? We also find out that her two friends have been murdered. And in the style of the Night Stalker, her two stripper friends, Amber and Tabby, I'm pretty sure. And she's also invited to meet with the private investigator who is hired to find her, John Labatt, played beautifully, sleazily by Kevin Bacon. And then we also meet Detectives Williams and Torres, played by Michelle Monaghan and Bobby Cannavale. That's what it is. Let's talk about Act 2. Colonel, I'll start with you.
oh shit! All right, I was not prepared. I thought it was Zag's turn. You know, like when you're in class, people are reading. While they're reading, you're looking at what you're supposed to read, so you don't fucking stutter. You caught me doing that. I was looking at what I was supposed to read next. I really thought it was going to be Zach's turn to go first.
Well, son of a bitch.
I know, this is some bullshit. I'm just going to jump right to Kevin Bacon because you said it the best. Beautifully portrayed. The best sleazeball I've seen in a film in fucking years, man. I could not get enough of him on screen. And him and Mia Goth on screen together, that was fucking chemistry, man. They knocked the ball out of the fucking park every time they were together. Like, really, it was, I'm blowing smoke up your asses, people. It was like fucking, God, it was fucking brilliant. It was great. Like, I wish if you haven't seen it, I wish you had, so we can. Again, I'm trying to stay spoiler free, spoiler a little. But man, that made Act 2 fucking fantastic. And I'm not even talking about anything else that happened because it was fucking great. Because you got Kevin Bacon following MaXXXine around. Crank said it. She's trying to figure out, okay, who got this tape? You know, what do they want out of me? While she's talking to the director of the film saying, get your shit together. This is your big chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she's crumbling under the stress of that as well. Like, her world's just fucking falling apart, and she's like, what the fuck's going on? And you got this fucking sleazeball from New Orleans fucking following her everywhere, making it known that he's following her. He could have defended himself a little bit better, man. I was waiting for Herb Dean from the UFC to jump on top of him and be like, it's over, call the fucking fight, because he wouldn't defend himself anymore, man.
All right.
That fucking was brilliant.
One of the things
I'm gonna be the thunder stealing prick on those two. I'll let you guys have the rest.
One of the things I've always loved about Kevin Bacon is he just always seems like one of those most down to earth people. Like, you could meet him in a bar or in a club or just walking down the street and he'd be cool to you. I wish he would fucking do conventions, you know. I don't know if he has done many, but maybe someday. But I also think a lot of people underrate him as an actor. I think he's a terrific actor, but some of his roles are not great roles. But even the ones that aren't great, he nails them. You know, yeah, he was the guy in Footloose, and that didn't necessarily require a whole lot of, you know, major acting chops. I get it, but
what about the guy in Flatliners and Hollow Man?
Well, I'm just saying that's where
a river, you know.
That's where a lot of people throw his, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they remember him from Footloose almost instantly.
This fucking guy's a national treasure, man. I mean,
go ahead, Ziggy. Go on.
Yeah, he's great. He's fucking great. He delivers. It's believable, and you find out that she's like, well, how much? She's not giving up anything, and he just keeps talking, and she finally goes, how much? You know, to get him to go away. And he's like, oh, no, sweetie. My benefactors don't, you know, they have plenty of money. It's more than you'll ever have. And so he's like, you're going to see me until you give in to what we want. And he's always fucking there every time she's into something. So he was great. He was absolutely a new character, a new side of Kevin Bacon you've never seen before.
Yes. Definitely a different kind of character for sure, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember a Louisiana Kevin Bacon like that ever before.
Well, and Colonel mentioned the scenes between him and Mia Goth being great. It wasn't just their chemistry, though. The writing in those scenes was fucking phenomenal. Because you got the Texas girl and you got the Louisiana boy. And them both throwing like their regional, you know, weird descriptions was just hysterical to me, especially him, because he really dove into it with some of the colorful descriptions that he used. There was a little bit more going on in Act 2 that we can kind of talk about here. Again, spoiler alert. Let me get back to that page. One of two of the two girls that invited MaXXXine to go to a party up in the Hollywood Hills at different times were both found dead. Where were they found dead there, Ziggy?
Where were they found dead?
Yeah. It's a place near and dear to your heart.
Hollywood
You
Hills.
just posted a photo from there not too long ago.
Yeah, they were in the cemetery at
Hollywood Memorial Cemetery.
Hollywood Forever, isn't it?
Hollywood Forever, yeah.
Yeah. So yes.
I thought you'd be excited when that scene came up.
I was Leonardo DiCaprio going.
Yeah,
like the meme.
I remember seeing that first shot, and then you and I talking about who puts a fucking duck pond in the middle of the funeral, in the middle of the cemetery. And that's where they're found. I thought that was great.
Right there.
No, that's we'll get on the subject of MaXXXine for a little bit. No, there's a Spring Grove Cemetery in Cincinnati's like that. They got lakes and fountains. Like, they encourage people to come there and take picnics and shit. They have like beautiful statues everywhere. But you have to have money to get buried in that place.
When they show it, though, I mean, they even shot around. We saw that whole little walkway right behind it, you know, and that was right by the Johnny Ramone grave. And
and by the mausoleum.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right there.
It showed that in the shot too. So
again, I was just going. Oh!
It was the back side of it, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because you saw the water and stuff, right?
Yeah. So her two friends are dead. The detectives start, questioning MaXXXine about this. The private detective gives her an address and tells her that she needs to meet with his employer or shit's gonna go down. MaXXXine does not do that. What about, again, more spoilers because we're in that area now. What about when she is followed by the detective Labatt, John Labatt, and she gets out of the car and she's got the keys in her knuckles.
Dude, that's what I mentioned, man. Herb Dean needed to jump in and break that shit up. He wasn't even blocking by the end of it. He was just fucking taking it.
He was taking it, man. Boom, boom, boom. She opened him up in a few places.
Dude. This fucking,
that was a great scene. Yeah.
Like, get him, girl, get him.
And I love the fact that afterwards he's got the Chinatown bandages on his nose, which is hysterical to me. There's a lot of little, Easter eggs and homages to films in this movie, and that was a good one. We also get our first visit to another place that Ziggy and I have been able to visit while we were out in California, the Psycho House, which was an interesting little ode, but I don't know. I think when they go back to it the second time, that's the better scene with that, I think. But
it's just weird how they
head cast done.
Yeah, if you want to talk about that, go ahead.
No, well, I have to finish up setting up this Psycho scene, but you see it in the trailer, so this isn't spoilers.
Right.
Like I said, she's the director of the films, taking her driving around the lot,
giving her that pep talk.
Yeah, the producers don't want you in this film. You're a porn star. They have other people. I'm fighting for you. This could be my blah, 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 blah. You need to get your shit together. And they pull up to the Psycho set. You have the motel in the house. She starts tuning her out. She's staring at the Psycho house. And, of course, you see Pearl standing in the window at a distance. It's not a close-up, but it's clearly Pearl. But the best part is she's getting the best Pearl cameo in this film, if that's what you want to call it, flashback. She's getting her head plaster done for her head. All the shit's going on. She's, again, someone knows that what she did 5-6 years previous in Texas. She got away from it. She kind of reduces herself into a panic attack where she envisions Pearl. What the fuck is that we doing? Sorry. Just heard a loud thud right above my head. Where Pearl, you see her hands come across Mia Goth and start massaging her. She totally freaks the fuck out, man. She falls back, starts pulling all the plaster off her face. It was a brilliant scene to really capture, her inner turmoil. Like on the outside, she's MaXXXine. Damn it, she's a star. But on the inside, she is scared shitless of what's going on. I thought it was great.
Yeah, once her senses were cut off, man, she was vulnerable.
Right. Oh, she meets the Molly Bennett, who played basically what her role, or not the character necessarily, but the role would be in the movie she's taking.
I love it because it's a fucking 80s horror movie that you would see on the video shelf. You were just passing by it, called The Puritan.
The Puritan, yeah.
And she's shooting The Puritan 2.
Right. And the poster or the cover art for the VHS is perfect 80s style. So I loved it.
They nailed that. The aesthetic of this. You've seen this video in a fucking mom and pop video shop. I guarantee it. This picture with a different title on it, for sure.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Fucking beautiful.
She does attack Labatt. We talked about that a little bit. Unfortunately, more spoilers. Unfortunately, Leon murdered.
Which was expected, but sad. Still sad.
Which was expected, yeah.
It was sad, but it was a pretty good giallo-y type kill.
That was very.
Yeah, it definitely was.
That was very. That was a lot. That seemed more like Argento inspired.
Well, and then you got some eye trauma too. So I mean,
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're totally. I understand there's eye trauma, but did you really reaching for that Fulci reference?
I did not say Fulci. I never said Fulci. You said
Well,
Fulci.
you said eye trauma. You know, goddamn well, that's what you were thinking.
I'm just saying it was just a nice giallo-y segment. I never said Fulci.
I know you too well, Z.
I love the color. I love the colors,
Fulci.
though. I love the colors in the background of the video store when he's getting it, and the shot choices they made, like of the hand with the knife and everything. It was very, very well done. I would say Act 2 probably would end with spoiler alert one more time, because this is a big one. Labatt chases her through this dance club, but it's a trap, as they would say. And she's actually luring him to get captured, so her and the lawyer, or not, well, he is an entertainment attorney, but her agent, Teddy, and another friend can help get rid of her problem with John Labatt.
Although I did enjoy anything involving Kevin Bacon, this is where I thought the film started to fall off a little bit for me. A little bit, because it got a little like Kill Bill almost, just a little bit too like, well, wait a minute now, she's got these fucking guys that are gonna go ahead and like the mafia, they're gonna take care of the problem. And
well, when she goes in to talk to Teddy in the first place, he's already talking to the guy on the phone about, hey, we just need a little bit of time in your junkyard. That's all I'm asking. I don't know if you caught that during that conversation.
His look on his face, though, when he's watching it go down is the best. Is the fucking best. It's perfect. And it makes it work.
Right.
It looked like he owned a lot of fried chicken chains in the Southwest. I've seen that look before when he acted. It's fucking brilliant. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What about you, Colonel? What'd you think of the chase scene plus the junkyard?
I fucking loved it, man. Spoiler alert. I know we're on spoiler territory. This is one people haven't talked about. If you're known to have epileptic seizures, I know I fucked up the word epileptic, but be careful during this fucking scene, okay? I can swear people are gonna they'll seize the fuck out. Like, so
it's an 80s dance club.
Yeah,
it was strobe galore.
I'm saying a lot of fucking strobes. Even I was a little disoriented watching that, which was a brilliant effect. It really was. I love the chase scene. I think Raina mentioned it. I've been to a lot of small music venues. I've seen some pretty shitty fucking public restrooms, but nothing that bad. Like, I even wouldn't want to kick these doors in like he's doing. Like, you're gonna catch fucking syphilis on the bottom of your shoe kicking these doors in. It's fucking disgusting. But man, it's the perfect setup. And I'll be honest, guys, once Kevin Bacon gets got, well, I was the only one in the theater started laughing my ass off. I gotta explain this part for you guys so you know why I was laughing. It's fucking hilarious. So he comes running out. He sees, MaXXXine and her agent / lawyer, whatever you call it. He's got to take care of his fucking money. He knows she's going to be a star. That's his moneymaker there. And fucking the guy that played from the Young Rock or whatever that show was called, he played Rocky Maivia. He's like college and older. I was like, oh, I know him. I did the fucking meme Zach was talking about. Just busts him upside the head with this fucking baseball bat, and he falls off the loading dock and hits the ground.
That was funny. Yeah.
That was funny as fuck.
Yeah. That was a good fall, too.
It was.
You know?
And then such a cowardice way for him to go out, but it was perfect for that character, man.
It fits though.
It fit. It was great. I kind of disagree with Zag. This is not where the movie fell off for me. It was still going very strong at this point.
No. Yeah.
No, I was starting. Well, because of what he says. It's just I was starting to go like, okay, I know where we're going. I figured it out where we were going, like exactly where we were going.
Dude, you should have known where we were going.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, but they still hadn't even the bumbling cops hadn't put together that these were set up to look like these kills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they had.
Not at that point. It was later on.
Speaking of these bumbling detectives, I know we haven't really touched on them yet. God damn, that good cop, bad cop role got fucking old quick. Like, I really could give two shits about these detectives.
But
what saved it was
the fact that he was like trying to perform for his
it's just like, dude,
partner.
You suck.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, even that second time in the station, and she's like, or whatever, you know, she just walks out, and he's like, "What? You didn't like that performance either?"
The first time was funny. The second time I'm like, okay, like it's mentioned again. After it's mentioned 3 times. That time I'm like
the third time I didn't necessarily need to, but
it was in passing almost.
That was
it's still unnecessary and stupid.
Yeah, fair enough. But the first 2 I thought were funny as shit, and I thought it fit the characters, but.
But it's all of a sudden they're like, well, these are, you know, someone's clearly setting this up to look like it's the Night Stalker.
Well, they said even when they go up to the first 2 they find at the cemetery, the one of them, you know, the responding officer says something along the lines of it looks like the Night Stalker, you know, and one of the detectives says, "Are you sure about that, or are you hoping it is?" You know.
And even the coroner says, like, the pentagram's like, "Oh, looks like they did this with a branding iron." Like, it's
or cattle prod or something.
Or cattle prod, that's it.
Yeah, but they're the ones that got a fucking. And then just I don't know, man. Just the bumbling way they exit the movie is just that I didn't like.
The cops.
Yeah. That was lame.
We'll get to that. We'll get to it. That's not here yet. Cast and acting. Were there any other? I guess we just ripped the cops apart. I thought the cops were great.
I liked them until I just didn't like their
with Ziggy.
I didn't like their direction where they ended up. It's nothing to do with how they acted.
Okay.
No, like I said, I have no complaints about the acting at all in this movie. I thought it was great all the way around.
Nope.
Even the people who play the detectives. I just didn't care for the detectives. I kind of think that's what Ty West is going for. I hope.
Maybe so.
Because they did a good job of me not giving a shit. Like, they did a good job of me kind of cheering at the end. Like, yay.
I thought the cops were fun. Just a different vibe for the film.
Just so.
They weren't the 80s cookie cutter cops.
How the fuck, I mean, if you're that fucking smart and you're a cop, where's your training at, man? How you gonna? All right, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get there. Settle down.
God damn it, jumping ahead.
Damn it, that pissed me off, and it affected things here.
Anybody else in the acting department you want to put some shine on that we haven't mentioned?
Not really. Not that
I think we nailed all the major players.
She only really had one scene, but Lily Collins as Molly Bennett I thought was just great. When she's going through all this, like, I'm so much better than you. Let me give you all the advice because I've gotten one movie, and
I've been here before. Yeah,
I've been here before. Let me tell you all the good stuff. All right, thanks, Nadine.
Yeah, yeah. We got to give a little shout out to every single dude that checks you at the gate or pumps your gas has seen her in a fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? And it's obvious that they're just going, they're just looking at her like she's naked right now.
One of the PAs is just like, "Hey, by the way, I love your work." And,
love your work.
The security guard at the gate says, you know, she goes, I'm here to see the director. I'm Maxine Minks. And he goes, you sure are.
It's the
See, that
fucking.
was a funny running joke to me in that whole fucking movie.
But it's so good. It's so fucking charming.
It's good.
Creep Olympics, man. It's beautiful.
And they cast the creeps well.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just good. I mean, they got the looks down perfect, and it's just like, damn.
We're gonna talk.
Doomed.
We're gonna talk a lot about this. I have a bad feeling, but that '80s setting, holy shit! What the fuck is it with Ty West getting this, especially this period, so fucking good? House of the Devil was the '70s, by the way, so I was off a little bit on that, but I think it's the '70s.
Still a good timepiece.
But dude, all his shit is like right on. You know,
And it fucking better be, because you guys know I'm a stiffler for fucking accuracy.
well, and I know we've talked about this before, but everyone raves about Stranger Things, giving them the great '80s vibes, and I'm like, yes, but they're doing it for the wrong reason. You know, and at least that first season, I thought they were, and they weren't getting it right all the time either. I want to say you, Colonel, pointed out a couple of things in that first season of Stranger Things that were just like, nope, this didn't come out for like 8 months after. You know,
Now, I'll be
whatever it
honest,
was.
I wish I could take credit for that, but I've never finished the first season of Stranger Things. So it wasn't me.
Well, it may have been in the first couple episodes, though. I'm pretty sure it was you, but I could be wrong. But Colonel, nitpick that '80s setting, can you?
I can't, because it was so fucking spot on, and I mean, this movie took place, I was fucking months old. I didn't grow up during this time period like Zach or Crank. I just know from what I've seen of the '80s and other movies and family pictures that Ty West fucking nailed it. Is this where I could talk about the soundtrack?
That's next.
All right. Well, I'll shut up about the soundtrack for fucking 5 minutes. But no, it was the fucking '80s, you know. And who am I to question? You know, I think '80s and I think sleazy. I automatically think New York. But I thought he did a really good job nailing the sleazy porn industry of the '80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when she was stripping and stuff, the filter or something looked different. It just looked sleazier than other parts of the fucking movie. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. I see what you're saying there.
He fucking nailed it, because I mean that's kind of an eye opener. I knew that, you know, people doing cocaine and shit's the '80s, but I never really put Hollywood like sleaziness in the '80s. I always kind of go to New York because that's the narrative I grew up with. So he did a fucking great job, man.
We didn't talk about it, but I did love in the first act where she walks through the porn set, and they're filming off to the side, and she's just walking back, going to the dressing room, and you hear, you know, you know, and the mac and cheese being made over in the corner. And then all of a sudden you hear, oh, hi, Maxine. And you hear the director like, come on, focus, you know. I love just the nonchalance of it, you know, and she's just walking in. She's showing up to work. But Ziggy, 80s setting, get in there.
The hair, the clothes, the dialect. There's not one thing that felt out of place from the 80s in this experience. I'm racking my brain. I can't come up with anything.
Oh, the billboards,
perfect. The
scenery.
Just the fucking stupid signs in the fucking windows that were just in there for a couple of seconds. Just the graphic style.
The video cameras.
Yeah, dude, I loved it when Leon broke down she got the cassette. Can you tell me where you got it? Well, that's kind of hard to tell. And he's looking at. He's like, well, most people are using Sony DDK. This is a cheaper thing. Just talking about the different cassette tapes there. I fucking loved it, man.
The ones that he rattled off were
I heard of.
I have them.
Yes.
I still have them. They're in storage. And those were like 3 of the most popular brand at the time. It was just unbelievable. And kudos to Ty West, whatever he does that makes these films fit so perfectly in whatever time frame he's shooting for. All right, Colonel, go ahead.
Yay.
God damn it. The soundtrack was fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. I didn't even know some of these songs. I'll be honest, again, not my era. And that's fine. Because I still love the fucking soundtrack. Everything fit. Was it Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper and X good? Not quite. But man, I put ZZ Top, Give Me All Your Lovin' right fucking here with it. Talk about the perfect song to start a fucking movie. Just, he nailed it. Like, there's very, very few movies where I think they truly nailed the soundtrack. I'm not talking score, soundtrack go with it. Very few.
Right.
Ty West knocked it out of the fucking park. Again, what? I'm sounding like Crank like he does when he talks about Flanagan. I feel like I'm sucking this guy off, and that's not my style.
Dude,
But I have nothing
West
negative you can say.
Ty West is right up there with Flanagan. I like Flanagan's work a little bit more, but Ty's climbing that ladder quick.
Dig this. It has a regular score to go along with it, but these are some of the hits that you're going to hear when you go see MaXXXine. Laura Branigan, Self-Control, Gimme All Your Lovin', ZZ Top, In My House, Mary Jane Girls, I'm Insane, Rat, Obsession, Animotion, St. Elmo's Fire, John Parr. This one, my buddy picked up. He's like, dude, that sound familiar? Prisoner of Your Eyes, Judas Priest. I was like, wow, man, that is a fucking early one. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Shell Shock, the New Order. There's No Business Like Show Business, Carol Burnett, and then Betty Davis Eyes, Kim Carnes, of course.
Well, and what's great about the soundtrack is, yes, there's some hits there. Betty Davis Eyes, Give Me All Your Lovin'. There's hits there that everyone remembers from the 80s. But then there's, the deep cuts, but from bands that had hits. Like Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Animotion and what was the next to the last one you mentioned?
New Order.
All three of those, I heard all of those, or not Animotion necessarily, because that was a big hit for them. But I heard those two, New Order and Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and I was just like, holy fuck. I mean, yes, most New Order songs take me back anyway, but that one was like a very specific, it took me back to a very specific moment in time. Like a very specific hanging out at a friend's house and hearing that song on an album or cassette for the first time. And I remember that. And it was just, but that's what I like about this soundtrack is it's not just like Stranger Things is pretty much just the hits, except for that Running Up That Hill song. Okay. Way to go. Good job. But this wasn't that. Yes, there are hits, but there are a couple of deep cuts on there that really made this kind of stick out to me a little bit. Like, yep, this guy.
They're worked into the scenes. They're worked into the scenes.
Yes, and he knows his fucking shit. So, was this something you wanted to talk about, FaZe?
I mean, you guys pretty much put it, once again, you guys put it too beautifully. I mean, the ones that there are a few on there that I don't know, but man, I know most of those songs. And fucking, I love 80s music. I love 70s music, 90s, anything before 2000, pretty much. I just love it. And this whole, every time a song would come up, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go. Come on. Loved it. Loved every second of the soundtrack.
Here's something I wanted to talk about, and this was maybe one of the down points for me, because I got hyped up about it, I assume. But there was a point a while back where they were talking about, the making of this film. They were talking about, yes, we're shooting at the Bates Motel house on Universal Studios lot, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a nugget in those articles at the time that came out that said, oh, and we have a very surprise special guest cameo for one of those scenes. Did you guys happen to catch who the cameo was? Colonel?
I don't remember.
Honestly, no.
Ziggy?
I mean,
Can't think of it.
Larry Fassenden as the security guard.
Oh, kicking out Kevin
Kicking
Bacon.
out John Labatt. Yeah.
No.
But, yeah, exactly. That's exactly the response I had. I was like, oh.
Okay.
I recognize his face because isn't he the one that checked her in too when she said she's being the director? Or was he that different actor?
I think that was a different actor. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
I
I
assumed
think
it was the same actor, right?
I don't think it was.
Pretty guy.
But yeah, I mean, yes, Fassenden is a, very busy actor in very small parts in the horror world and film in general, but that didn't seem to live up to what they were billing it up to be. I was expecting like, Janet Leigh to be, there or something like that. Maybe not her, but something like that.
A shot of her grave, perhaps.
Maybe, but something like that. I don't know. It just didn't. That didn't pay off for me. Now, gang, before we get into this next topic, dun dun dun. This will probably be the last time I do this because, yeah, as somebody mentioned below, you should know by now. I think we did pretty well keeping the first 52 minutes spoiler free.
Yeah.
So here we go. Act 3, the showdown climax. And yes, I did use that term specifically. So, pun intended. I love your work, Colonel. Go ahead, start.
What the hell is the matter with you anyway?
I don't even know what you're referencing. Fuck, where to start?
This would be when she gets to the house.
When she gets to that, okay. So before we get too far, we'll admit the detectives. She threw away the address. Kevin Bacon got her. Then she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to end this now. She goes. The detectives follow her. She enters the house.
Well, because remember, because the cops, remember, they kind of sweated her, going,
"Yeah,
hey, what the fuck you want me to do?" And she's like, "Stop the next girl from getting killed." And she kind of that finally, after she realizes she's pretty much, it's not going to end. She goes. She finds the address and goes. Proceed.
Fair enough. We'll see. All right, I'll be honest. This third act is where they lost me a little.
Really?
Bit. I'll be honest with you.
I'll tell you why too.
Yeah. So we get to the house. I'm going to sum it up because these guys are going to talk about it. And we're all going to have the same talking points essentially. So she gets to the house. She goes to this room. You've seen the doors before. She can hear that video from 1959 playing behind these doors. Right there, I fucking knew it. Like, at this point, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew it wasn't the Night Stalker because that was too fucking obvious. Like, everybody knew that. So it's like, all right, who's the killer? It's her fucking dad. I'm like, it's a bit of a letdown. Okay, I can still live with this. I can still live with it.
This was exactly where they said they were going to go, basically from X. Because they even set it up at the end of X.
Okay, you're still acting like this is common knowledge. Like this was in the synopsis. Like, hey, her dad's the killer. All right, we all knew it, especially when we started playing it. But it's like, okay, either way, it's still like, fuck, seriously. But okay, I can deal with this. I can work with it. Just work with me here. I can work with it.
All right.
Well, he ends up taking her out. She comes to, tied up to a fucking palm tree or some shit. I don't fucking know. Much like the movie she's filming, The Puritan, set up like she's a witch on trial. She's about Puritan 2, but we're talking about Puritan 1 because that's how it ended. She was burned at the stake. So it's set up like Francine's going to get burned at the stake. And then, shame on me because I only did half the job. I uploaded a picture to click up that I wanted to use tonight to explain this, but I didn't explain to Crank why I uploaded this picture, why I wanted to use it. Google it yourself. In the early 2000s, there was a super group, if you want to call it, called Dark Lotus, and they painted their faces with crosses. Surprise, surprise, Dark Lotus is surrounding this fucking pool. I'm like, 24 years ago when I was a teenager. And her dad's like, this is your chance to be a star. Come back to me. Just follow my lead. And he's filming a fucking movie. Because everybody knows about the satanic panic of the 80s. Mm-hmm. This is like the satanic panic to the extreme of trying to feed into said satanic panic and make a quick fucking buck.
Okay, I will go along with you on the point of the dad filming a movie. That was a bit of a reach, but I could definitely see that it was him, like, the whole fucking time.
Still, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. It's fine. You saw it how you saw it. I'm seeing it how I see it. It's just, but this is where they really fucking lost me. And the next thing you know, the detectives pop up, freeze, and fucking get a shootout. And oh my god, this is just where I'm like, the fuck.
I can follow you there.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I was going to go on, but I'll stop.
Go ahead. No, you must get it out. Get it out, because I've got my point. I'm going to pick up right when you're done.
Well, I don't want to. I was going to cover the entire scene. So if you want to speak, go ahead and speak. I'll step back. You jump in.
You can put a bow on it for me at the very end, okay?
Okay.
Because we're kind of on the same page here. Now, my problem here is I don't care that he was behind it all. I knew that, Crank. I'm with you. I knew. I'm there, man. My problem is this Batman supervillain type setup that involved all these deaths to get it here, man. That's what fucking took me the fuck out of it, man.
Well, he was luring her friends there, thinking that she would just show up naturally with them. That made sense.
Just his old over-the-top Lex Luthor fucking game plan personality sucked, I thought.
I would say just for me, it was such a departure from X and Pearl. The endings of those made perfect sense. This one, I'm like, just like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, it was a what the fuck.
Oh, I cannot say that the ending of this is super strong. I can't say that. I will agree with you there. But
I'm okay. I mean, I'm even okay with that, him being the heavy. That's great, but
I wanted a surprise, especially since they had this huge red herring with the Night Stalker the whole time.
That's what I mean.
I wanted a surprise. I knew the Night Stalker was a fucking red herring. I knew it.
Yeah, I wrote that in crayon said this is not the fucking Night Stalker.
Right. I was hoping,
but I wanted a surprise, and for it to be the fucking dad, that did irritate me. I thought it was lazy.
I just wanted him to be like one of their, just a dumbass, like the Night Stalker's just he's just a slow thinker, and he's involved somehow. They had him, you know what I mean? He was doing the bidding somehow. That's what I was kind of hoping for.
I do want to explore this ending a little bit further here as we go on, but I will side with you on that, Colonel. I didn't want it to be the dad, and I didn't necessarily like that the bumbling cops at the end.
God, yes.
Yeah, on his deathbed, essentially.
Yeah.
I came here to be an actor. Like, Jesus Christ. Couldn't put one in his fucking head and save us all the fucking 45 seconds of this film I'll never get back.
Well, I think that's why she let go of the wound.
Well, he died. Then she's like, all right, you're done.
Well, I'm just sitting there thinking maybe she let go just a little bit just because he was saying, I wanted to be an actor. And she's like, nobody's fucking looking. Here, let me give you a couple of squeezes underneath the rib cage just to get some more of that out.
Yeah, let me rub your shoulders here. Push, a little pressure on the arteries here. Yeah.
You look stressed.
On the neck a little bit.
Well,
Ziggy, jump in.
I mean, yes, man. It's just now where we eventually end up with this shit is okay. It's a wonderful note that it lands on. It actually sticks the fucking landing of this horrible ending that they came up with. But I think it will only appeal to guys like Colonel and me, really. Honestly.
I wouldn't go so far as to say horrible ending. Just
disappointing.
It is disappointing, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she like it just kind of it almost seems like it worked out, and she's now at the Ramon's Theater, Chinese Ramon's Theater. Is that what am I saying it right?
Ramens.
Yes.
Gromans
with a G. And she's walking in, she's getting the whole star treatment, the pictures, MaXXXine, over here, and she's just doing the whole pose and everything. Well, then you realize she's fantasizing about it, and it's still very much in a bad place. So you get pulled right back into that bullshit again. Well, the cops, she gets taken out, and then he's rolling down the hill going, he's, he does this like, I wanted to be an actor. And then she pops out. She's got a crucifix sticking out of her eyeball. Another eye trauma.
The other cop.
God, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about all that.
Yeah, the good cop.
And she's like, I got him. I told you I'd get him. And then she falls down the fucking mountain, So
that was gory in the
right
fucking
under
eye.
the Hollywood sign, by the way. All this is taking place. So, okay, Faze. Now we're looking down at Dad, who's shot, but he's telling MaXXXine, hey, let's do this. Join me. We'll rule the universe. I am your father.
Yeah, right. The typical join the dark side speech.
It wasn't
Pretty
quite
much
that, but yeah.
It's a lot like that, but I mean, not so much. I mean, but yeah. Go ahead, Faze.
They had a helicopter above them, kind of providing that extra lighting for the scene. A helicopter always provides that tense. It's loud. You got that bright ass light.
Well, that's what tied into the flashback. Wasn't that what led to the flashback? Was the helicopter's
I think
light?
that's what started it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think even part of the helicopter was a flashback, because why would the people piloting the helicopter know her name?
It's true.
They've seen her porno.
There's a lot going on.
Love your work. Put the gun down. I love your work, by the way.
Yeah,
Get
right.
an extra point to the movie if that happened.
Oh my god, that would have been funny as hell.
But
she thinks about it for a second, and then she blows his fucking head off, and it's a great effect. I'm like, oh yeah, Ziggy's gonna love that. Was the first thought I had.
what we have here is one of the finest shotgun blasts to the heads that we've seen since Maniac. Dawn of the Dead. You put any shotgun blast you've ever seen, this one deserves a shot at the title. Colonel?
No, I completely agree. I thought that when it played out. I was like, that was fucking on par with fucking Maniac. That was the best gore scene in the movie. We didn't get a lot, but what we got was fucking decent. And
there's some good gore scenes.
There are some good gore scenes, but this
memorable, very memorable.
Took the fucking cake, man. This won first place at the county fair. You know what I mean? It was just damn. It was beautiful, fucking beautiful.
I mean, the brain stem's still pumping and shit, dude. Yeah. It's fucking righteous. It's wild.
The gore horror duo of me and Zag. I know. As soon as I saw it, I was just like,
yes.
Beautiful.
Well, I don't even have to ask this question then, probably. So, favorite kill?
Oh, no, you can ask
Colonel.
me, because I got a different favorite kill.
Oh, do you? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Was that your favorite?
I'll give it to, Colonel can have the one. Absolutely. The shotgun blast was fucking amazing, dude. The way they presented it and stayed on it just long enough, and CGI. This is CGI, but
was it?
It's well, if it wasn't, man, that's some.
Dude, I'd have to watch it again. My viewing, I could have swore that was mostly practical effects.
I think there was some CGI touch-up, but I think that was...
Well, I'm looking at the splatters and stuff. That's what made me think that it was at least enhanced. Now, if they went practical, man, they did it fucking right.
I was looking at the meat.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That pumping stem in the middle, dude, was like, and it kind of spreads out. It's like, it was just fucking great, man. Yeah. Just gorgeous. But, I mean, that there's that other scene at the beginning.
You get one. You get one.
I know that's the Colonel. I know it.
Colonel?
Phase. Go to Phase first.
I'm going to agree. It's a shotgun blast. We can take
it. Man.
All
right. Colonel?
Shotgun blast, that's the easy one. And what I'm about to say for my favorite kill, you can probably say about the shotgun blast. This fucker deserved it. The fucking nut stomp, dude. That I was impressed with the shotgun blast. I hurt watching the fucking nut stomp.
Well,
It hurt.
because you got the stomp from above,
Yeah,
like
you saw the
an
splat.
aerial shot
with some 80s platform fucking shoes.
and
The
then you
splat.
see the boot come back up from a side shot. Oh,
And down and twist.
All right, who's talking about this favorite kill? All right, let me have it. Goddammit, Zach, shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That hurt. Like they stole everything I was going to say about this kill for the fucking most part. So, again, that was my joke. I was bursting at the seams to move this. Like this dude's fucking testicles burst out of his fucking sack. It was brilliant. You got the splatter from above. You got the balls hanging out of the ripped out sack from the fucking like side angle. Oh, fuck it. Oh, that hurt so bad. Like I said, he fucking deserved it. Fuck him. He got exactly what he deserved. He fucked with the wrong one, man.
Dude, we all reacted, all 12 of us in my theater, right? To the and then we took a second, everyone's kind of giggling. I was like, everybody breathe. Gotta laugh. And then a lady in the back goes, I don't even got balls and that hurt.
Jesus
So it was
Christ.
fantastic, dude. It was great.
Nice. This isn't mine. I love the junkyard scene where Kevin Bacon gets it. It's not, you don't see a lot, but it's implied, and I thought that was just, but the way he sells it is, he sells it well. I thought that was great. But there's not much else to talk about that. It just, he gets squished in a
Well, then also he
car.
tips.
My second.
He says he's an atheist early on when they meet, and then he's praying his ass
Right.
off right before he dies, you know. And
Right. I thought that was funny. All right. How about this? The writing and directing. Any complaints? Colonel?
aside from, go ahead,
I would say aside from that
The ending.
not a terrible ending, just disappointing ending. Disappointing ending. I'm not even going to tell that joke. I'll skip it tonight. Just very disappointing.
wonderful walk into the 80s, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was perfect. They wrote and directed this fucking thing, the hell out of it. I just didn't like the Batman villain ending. And other than that, it's great. The actual ending, great. Just the lead up to it and that last little bit there, they just kind of fucked it up for me and made it a little too Kill Bill, James Bondy, that kind of thing.
The writing between Mia Goth's character and Kevin Bacon's character, great. The writing between the director and Mia Goth, great.
The
agent, great. The writing for the cops, not as great.
I hear you.
The writing for the ending, I expected a surprise. I didn't get one. So that was disappointing. But the direction, Jesus Christ, Ty West can direct the fuck out of like whatever, and he's good.
Okay. I hate to say it, but when I walked out of this movie, I was a bit disappointed with what it wrapped up to be. All this whole journey between X and MaXXXine, let's say. I was kind of bummed out. I kind of wished it had gone a little bit differently than just a religious nut being in charge and behind everything. However, as a whole, it's a pretty cool, interesting take, and it's shot beautifully 3 different ways. The way this guy approaches it, and anything he does it's like he's there. It's like he goes back in time and shoots this shit. So, but we're talking about MaXXXine. And it's a great watch, man. And I look forward to watching this one again. But in the end of it, I couldn't really go as high as I wanted. I absolutely am a victim of overhyping this. 100% for myself. And with that, I'm going to leave it at a 7.
7?
7.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, Colonel.
Boy, you know, like I said, here we are. We've been 2 years now, which is pretty quick for a trilogy.
Yeah,
But that longer because the anticipation for these films after seeing X has been high, and I can see where Zag's saying he's maybe a victim of overhyping it. I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, again in my brain, it's a minor fucking nitpicky thing. I like to classify shit. That's just the way my brain works. So I'm still like, I wish I can classify it as something. I don't mind the multiple genres, but I could pick a main one, and I can't pick a main one. And also that 20 minutes there at the end where I'm just like, what the fuck? It just did not fit this trilogy at all. It really didn't. But that being said, everything else about this movie was fucking phenomenal. Like X and Pearl were. Mia Goth killed it again. Kevin Bacon was a great addition to the story. You know, MaXXXine kind of in this film, I like the fact she was filming Puritan too, because really, once she killed her father, I'm probably putting her thought on this. She kind of really purified herself, came out clean, and got what she wanted. Her demons were extinguished at this point. She can move forward and be the star she always wanted to be. So you get that nice little happy ending for her. Oh, goddamn. I'm kind of zag a little bit when I say I want to rank this higher, but I'm going to give it an 8. It probably would be higher if it wasn't for that fucking third act, man. Like, that's probably been one of my few 9s we've had on the show. I enjoyed it that much till that part.
I was definitely sitting at an 8 up until the Batman stuff. So
I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. It has its faults, but I don't think those faults make it a bad movie. Like with the ending, I wanted something different, but I was okay with what we got. I really, and I think I've given both X and Pearl a 10. Did I not?
I can't remember both.
I don't think they're both 10s. I think you did. One of them was a high 9, though. It might have been 9.5, maybe a 9 for X. I think Pearl you 10'd.
Maybe that was it.
Or it's the other way around.
Yeah. I think both of them are 2 of the best movies out of 2022, though. So, if not the best movies out of 2022. And this one's probably going to be right up there as one of the best ones of this year. I'm not going 10, but I am going to give this a 9 because I dug it. And like I said, the few faults that it does have don't necessarily ruin the movie for me. So I'll stick with 9. So 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Phase.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking on the score a little bit. I mean, I agree on the ending. I was expecting something a little different too, but it was okay for what it was, I guess. But I mean, it was beautiful 80s, set in the 80s flick. Fucking the soundtrack was just phenomenal. I mean, that alone bumps it up so fucking high.
The songs worked, man.
Yeah, Goth was really good. Fucking Esposito was in it. Kevin Bacon was good. I mean, there's a lot of good going on. Not a lot of negative. I'm going to go 8.5 just to kind of go in between you guys a little bit there.
Fuck up the math? Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh, there's math going on here? I don't know. I don't want to push it to a 9 per se.
So your 8.5 gives it a round score of 8.125. Does that math work out for you guys? Is that right?
I guess.
Sure. I'm not a math magician, man. So yeah,
bust out the calculator here.
A cumulative score. Can't say it right now.
What was it? 7, 8, 9, 8.5.
Yeah. Yes.
8.125.
Cat. She's zooming right between my fucking legs, man.
Correct, sir.
Got to thank our members one more time, our final girls and guys, Chris, Lorena, BD, Alex, and Tyrone, our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Raymond, and the Whole Damn Enchilada Pod. Rick at the Whole Damn Enchilada Pod's got 2 shows this week, Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
So check those out. And thanks to our camp counselors as well, Adam, Corey, Christy, Luke, Jimmy, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ.
Oh, shit. I am not ready.
God damn it.
Oh,
Get ready.
damn it.